and Madeline Brain. Madeline and Congressman, great to see you. Madeline, please, let's first start with you. Your son, an Army veteran, served in Afghanistan, father of 3, was murdered in New York. Madeline, that's outrageous. It's a disgrace. Can you tell us what happened and how you feel about the indictment of former President Trump?
Well, yeah, Hassan, first, thank you for having me. My son, Sergeant Hassan Correa, was murdered in Harlem in 2018 by 4 people he did not know, nor had he done any harm. Hassan was kicked, punched, stomped, and stabbed by these people. He was stabbed 9 times. Hassan died from a fatal stab wound to his heart. Hassan's father was also kicked, punched, stomped, and stabbed 12 times by these people when he tried to come to Hassan's aid, but his father survived and Hassan did not.
So how do you feel about the Trump indictment?
I think it is absolutely politically motivated, especially when Alvin Bragg is not prosecuting everyday crime that's happening here in New York City, where he is dropping murder and gang assault indictments against 2 of the people involved in my son's murder. There is killings, robberies, assaults, rapes happening every day, all day here in New York City. And none of those cases are being prosecuted. If they are being prosecuted, they're not being prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And victims are left with no justice and no closure.
So what Madeline just said, Congressman, it's good to have you back on. This is outrageous what happened. I mean, her son, Madeline's son, put his life on the line for the nation fighting in Afghanistan and comes home and gets murdered because of Alvin Bragg's weak on crime policies. You're on House Judiciary, Congressman. Talk to us about Chair Jim Jordan subpoenaing the former Manhattan prosecutor Mark Pomerantz out of Bragg's office to testify. Why?
Why? Because it's something that needs to be done. Mark Pomerantz has been pushing in every way he possibly can to hurt the former president of the United States, Donald Trump. Mark Pomerantz actually has an obsession with trying to hurt and spend his time just trying to destroy Donald Trump. And he has a lot of information. He wrote a book. He got some information out of that, but he also has a lot of information of what happened, who was connected to whom, and why it happened. It's time we know that. And also, it's real important here. We can't have a system in the future where every prosecutor who wants to can go after local prosecutors should not be able to go after the president of the United States. So we need legislation, which would be the result of this, to make sure that this doesn't happen in the future to anybody. And the reason that we need Pomerantz there is because by his misdeeds, we can learn about the type of legislation we need to do. And let me just say real quickly, my heart bleeds for this woman, and I mean that sincerely. Those aren't political tears or political blood. It's real blood to lose your family member, your son, because somebody's not doing their job right. I don't know how the prosecutor goes to sleep at night. He's worried about a political activity, about being a political hack, instead of taking care of the people of New York.
So, Madeline, what the Congressman just said, you know, House Judiciary Chair Jordan says DA Bragg admits he did use federal taxpayer money on his politicized case against Trump and not to fight crime.
Well, if Alvin Bragg would pay more attention to actually prosecuting crime, that's what taxpayers and voting New Yorkers hired him to do. He works for us. We do not work for him. If he would actually do his job and prosecute crime instead of wasting more of our tax dollars and more of the public's time going after Trump, maybe, just maybe, things can start to turn around. Even Mayor Adams said the same thing. The police commissioner Sewell said the same thing. They can arrest all day long. If we don't have prosecutors that are prosecuting these crimes, all of the efforts of the NYPD and everybody are in vain.
You know, Madeline, DA Bragg, he's saying what the House GOP is demanding is interference, but And then DA Bragg claimed about Trump, we cannot, quote, normalize criminality, when Trump was the one who was tough on crime. Trump was the one who was trying to turn this country around. The people who support Trump say he got railroaded from day one. Democrats wanted to impeach him within days of him being inaugurated. There were riots the day he was inaugurated. The Trump supporters say he is the guy to fix the nation, and that New York under Bragg, New York, you're saying absolutely to that. Did we just hear you say that? Go, take it away.
Because Trump actually stands in the way of everything that they're trying to do. All right, and I like to focus exclusively on the black and brown community. Trump is standing in the way of them allowing my community to self-decimate and kill ourselves through crime, through murder.
We're good.
Okay, sorry, that was Congressman Van Drew coming back online. Madeline, continue.
Okay. Through crime, through murder, through abortion, through all kinds of stuff. Just let them kill themselves, all right? And Trump is actually standing in the way of that, all right? They have an agenda, all right? And it's to advance themselves politically and put all these crazy ideologies and theories that have never been put into play before and try them out in a city like New York. And it's not going to work because now the people are starting to wake up, all right, and the people are starting to push back. And I encourage all my brothers and sisters, especially in the black community, to start educating yourself, all right, on who these candidates are that you continue to give your vote to generation after generation after generation and getting nothing in return for your vote. You know, we may not love Trump, all right, but Trump will be the one to stand between the self-decimation of our community. So,
Congressman Van Drew, we bring you back online. You hear what Madeline is saying. There's so much pain there and suffering. It is outrageous that this mother has to endure and grandmother has to endure having her grandchildren and her not have a father, having lost her son, a man, an Army veteran who put his own life in the line to sacrifice for our nation, only to come back to be killed. So now you have this criminality in New York under Bragg. He's pouring taxpayer money into Trump, but not thousands of crime victims. We have a new study from John Jay College, like 3/4 of New York City violent crime suspects freed on no cash bail, rearrested for committing even more crimes, Congressman.
It is purposeful destruction of the city of New York. It's what we're doing to our United States of America at so many levels with these super left-wing prosecutors. I don't care what race, what color, what creed you are, you deserve safety. And we can have that safety. You know, the real answer here is none of these things are complicated. When you have a real bad person that commits a bad, violent crime, you put them in jail, sometimes for life, sometimes for a very long time, but you don't let them right back out.
Yeah.
This is a tragedy.
And then, you know,
we've got to stop doing it.
Jerry-rigged a case against Trump where it's likely unconstitutional, violating his Sixth Amendment rights because it doesn't stipulate the federal felony charge. Nope, nothing was in there about that. Madeline, we'll give you the final word. We're so sorry. Our hearts go out to you, Madeline. We're going to stay in the story. Final word, Madeline.
Yes, I would like everybody to please go to my website at www.victimsrightsreformcouncil.org, especially mothers, fathers, families of all crime victims. It doesn't have to be gun violence, right? It's all crime. To please come for resources, all right, help, court buddies, people to guide you and help you through the court process, because it is a horrendous experience that a whole lot of people, if they're fortunate enough for there to be an arrest made, all right, in the murder of their child or whatever, okay, we will help you through the court process. We'll help you navigate it.
Wow.
So please reach out.
Congressman Van Drew. Madeline, thank you so much for your story. Really appreciate you coming on. We'll be staying on it for you. It's good to have you both on. Thank you. Joining us now.